can you see that this is part of some kind of movement or trend?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of similar projects before, but I think it feels very genuine. I think I have Håkan Tillmans, for example, is looking at the cosmos and one of the most famous names. But yeah, I think it's still, I feel it's original in many ways.
Yeah, I think it feels very personal, but you don't make it private. And I think that is a huge difference. Because if it's private, then it's not interest for anyone else. But when you do it personal, it's more like you are somehow sharing your mind, your view, your work.
Yeah, definitely. To share my emotion and feelings. I was really inspired by the Sufi spirituality because they only talk about their own experience, even when they comment the Quran. So I was thinking about all of this Sufi, and I discovered that there were Jehovah. There were monks at the beginning of Christianity, and they lived without any dogmas, any leadership, any residency. They only lived in nature and traveled to break that link with nature in order to reach their own spiritual center. And I feel very close to this approach, and feel me a lot to realize this project.
Yeah, and you could feel that in the...
Sorry?
And you could feel that in your project. And it feels like you have been thinking about the reader in the book. And I think that is so obvious, but that is actually quite often as a publisher you always have to remind the artist that what about the reader? Even if it's, I mean, of course it should be for the reader, but somehow when you're working with the project by yourself, it's sometimes you actually forgot that.
To what extent, Konstantin, did you think about the reader when you were working on this? Did you think about the reader?
Yeah, of course, I organized all the narration, and as I say, it's a play with the viewer, because I put my story in this book, but without the text of my story, the reader is led to imagine what he wants, and it plays with, as I said, with symbolic picture who brings to the viewer new picture, and I think it's the most important picture, that the inexpressible, invisible picture that the book creates, invisible thoughts also.
Is there anything that you would like to ask the panel here?
I just say thank you to invite me here.
What do you think when you see these images and when you listen to Konstantin? Any reflections? Any questions? Please. Take a microphone so that they can hear you behind you. Number 3, please.
Hello. I think it's very beautiful images, and they remind me about the moon. Okay? In a way, it also could be like the Earth without human beings or without any growth on, like a moon planet without growth. And also, it feels like the chemistry somehow in when you develop is very like that you needed to fix it properly, or you maybe like it looks like you played with the chemistry also in some pictures. You know, maybe you toned it or.
I'm manipulating different way the picture. I just try to find.
So it's very obviously analog.
No, it's digital and.
But it looks like analog.
Yeah.
That's why how I interpret it, how I look on it. Yeah. So that's how I see them.
Anyone else? Behind you.
you might talk more about this specific image?
This one.
Yes, this one.
This one is a one-shot picture. Yeah, it's the reflection of the sun in the river. But I don't think it's necessary to know how the pictures are made, because for me it breaks the magic of the picture.
Are you, when you walk through the mountains or the woods, a forest today, do you see the objects in a different way? Have your own way of looking at things?
But I think everybody has his own way to
But
see
I mean,
the world.
after all this project,
Yeah, of course, it's a constant evolution. Every photo I do is a new step to the next photo. But yeah, I can't think about before or after. I just simply try to observe the world as simple as I can.
and anybody else? Okay. So, thank you very much, Konstantin Schlachter and the panel, for this. Thank you very much. So, next in line is Brenda Moreno. Brenda Moreno from Mexico. Her project is called B2B. And should we just briefly show the B2B book? Yeah. Which number is it? It's nummer 3, handmicken. So please.
Okay, hi. Thank you for the invitation. I'd like to explain my project. The title is B2B, and it's about being for being. It's about a secret cloud trip about the introspection and the relationships. It starts with my travels between Mexico and Spain, and I start to photograph my family, and this is about the blood family and the chosen family, the friends, the people we have around, and how we reflect in others, and that help to build our own identity. I started with workbooks, with collage, with the photo discards, and I started to do collage and have the 12 workbooks. And after that, I started with the project. I used the horses for talk about the energy and the powerful and the next to the family and the side, the animal side inside everyone. I don't know if maybe you have a questions. It's better for me.
Okay. Do you have more, or do you want the slide to continue?
Yeah.
Could I ask you, does your family have a sort of business with the horses, or is it just a parallelism in relationship with them?
Yeah, there is horses in my family since I was 1 year.
So these are your horses?
Yeah, and maybe they have a lot of power in my family. It's more important the horses, but for me that represents that power. No? The domestic, the animal domestic, they go down with that power.
Yeah, no, I mean, I that's what I thought when I saw it, so that's what I just wanted to make sure. So there's this parallel story of your family and their history, and then the history of the horses somehow, and how they're intertwined, and they come out in the book together, no? In this timeline. Cool.
It's another person in the book, not like the horse.
I think
Please, Brenda, have a seat. If you don't need the computer anymore, so okay.
I'm thinking of the color red. What does it mean to you? Because it occurs in the book all the time.
I think it's love, is power, is the blood, the family blood, and the union between the family and the chosen family. Because of that.
For me, the horses is more about the power, how you control things. So it is, for me, it is like two stories in the book that is very interesting that you have done. But to tell a story like that and have all the collages, and some of the collages, especially these ones that are the blank collages, I think it's very, very good, but you do a lot of different collages, and sometimes it confuses me.
Why?
Because there are so many things going on, and you have the watercolor, you have the story with the horses and your family, and I really want to focus on that, and somehow feels like it's quite a lot, and I think it's so good work, it's so interesting, and it's something that a bit annoys me when I read through the book.
A lot of play or something like that, or
But I think it's that you have, first you have the red color, then you have the watercolor, you do the collages in different ways, and then you, in a very interesting way, tell the story with the horses and with the family that I really think is interesting. And somehow it feels like I would like you to be a little more calm, so I could really...
I try to put the collage about the things we do every day, again and again and again, and it doesn't work, and do it again. It's because of that, the use of the collage.
Yeah.
It's reminding us.
Microphone didn't close.
Okay, so it's for reminders that things we repeat and repeat, and one day we stop with that and do another thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that is actually what I really like. And you have one collage with the horses where they are cut out where the horses are white in the race, and I think that really adds to it. But then it is with this collage with the watercolor and everything, it feels like, for me it has been maybe even more focused, and just to remove a little bit about that, about how to edit it, because I think the project in itself is very interesting, and especially how you work with the images with the horses, and how you, I mean, it's not images about horses, it's, I mean, more what they represent, and that I think you have done in a very good way.
These empty frames, what did you think about that? Was it like someone died, or are
No,
you waiting to be filled?
it's about the empty space in ourselves, no? And
Okay.
it's about the empty spaces, and we looking every time, no? We learn every day, and we try to fulfill that space with things, with work, with persons, and it's about time. No?
So it's not about the family who's always constantly changing or something?
It's about relationships. It's about with ourselves, with the others. It's about that empty spaces represent maybe like a family album, or maybe empty spaces is more for the edition of the book, but this has to be to something we are searching always.
Because I thought about scrapbook a lot.
Yeah.
I was watching it.
But you mentioned, Brenda, that you had 12 scrapbooks to start with,
Yeah.
and then you chose from those to make this
Yeah,
one.
this is it was very difficult before the edition to how to edit the photo book, but it's part of the process. Everything is about the process and the changes in me and the pass of the time.
I think that explains what the things that I could see in it. Probably because you started it with, if you started with 12 scrapbooks and then put it together. I mean, that is a huge job to do that. Yeah. So that could be the reason, maybe because there are so many things going on in the book.
I don't think so, because that was the process. Only the
Yeah, I
process.
understand. Yeah.
I don't think so. Maybe that was part of the discards and the mistakes, and I think it's part of the everyday life. It's important.
It's a nice strategy to have those what it looked like an empty album page, because you have put out the features. To start the book with something like this, because immediately you want to find out what happened. It may be, I don't know, it may be confusing because we're thinking that it's a page from a family album. I don't know if that's what you're trying to achieve. But then there's another image of the races, the horses racing, and you put out the pictures of the horses. But all these pictures somehow appear in the book around a different time, so they don't really disappear. They're pasted elsewhere. No, they're being reused. I don't know. I think it's an interesting strategy to use images in that way. Somehow, some sort of memories that you can pull back and forth. I'm taking them out of context. Yeah, that's.
But I really like the way that you tell the story with the horses and these more private images, because that's, yeah.
We always find photos of horses. They are beautiful and drawn in the land, and the same photo. And in the book, I try to put it like a person's, like a different way to view the horse, like something more close.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's completely part of the family. It's like the family history and the history of the horses. But what was the title? B2B? What?
Yeah, it's like being for being. It's like something cyclical. So something you started at a point and the final is the point B. It's like an introspection. It's a journey. It starts with the family, and the final is the people who are around.
Sarah, in what way does this book speak to you?
I especially like the horses. I don't know why. I'm not so fond of horses otherwise, but I really like them in this book. Almost more than the photographs of the people in the family. And I also like the scrapbook idea that everything is constantly moving in it and reappearing. I don't know, I think it's genuine also. I feel it's not a style or something, it comes from within, I feel.
Thank you.
Do you feel, Angel, is it ready, or is it something that could be worked on in the way it's being presented and published?
Well, I have to say that actually all of the books that are shortlisted, they are quite well done anyway, and usually the Dunny Awards where you receive the books with Scotch tape and about to fall apart, but nowadays it's different. I think it is maybe with a bit of design work is good to go. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think about the this? do you like more only this and without that? Or?
You should show it to the audience too.
Are you guys talking about the sleeve? Do you want to keep the sleeve or not? Is it? Well, what is interesting about the sleeve is that you have outside the horses and inside the family, no?
Yeah. This is the
In,
chosen family.
in the sleeve you have photos of the family in the red sleeve. So what was your question again, Brenda?
No, this is the chosen family. The question is, what do you think about this? Only the book?
What do you mean the chosen family?
Okay, without the red sleeve.
So you're asking whether the book needs a sleeve or not?
Yeah, only.
So if, let's say it was presented just like this.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not, says the
Like
publisher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's very nice to have the slip cover and that you play with the content of the book with the slip cover. So I think it's good.
Okay.
And also this picture, it's like, it's very telling for the book in some ways. You can
And
make
get curious.
Okay. Any questions or comments from you here? Around the relations with the horses, with the family, or the finish of it? Okay, so thank you very much, Brenda Moreno.
Thank you.
And that's fine. And now I would suggest that we'll take some 20-minute break. We'll be back at 2:10, and you can buy a cup of coffee.